So, I haven't reviewed a DNA200 device yet. And there's no way I'm going through the 6-hour process that Basardo did. So, this is just going to be some quick general opinions. Some things I like, some things I don't like. And other than that, let's see how it goes. So, the DNA200 Vaporshark, and here we go. So we'll start out with Vape. At the moment, I actually have an underwicked. I have an underwicked mutation tank, and I've got the new juice Sanity. The new juice is now live. We are pre-selling on Facebook. The labels will be here tomorrow, so any orders that you guys want to do, just PM me on Facebook, and we'll get it set up. Just check my Facebook thread. I left my phone number to get in touch with me. The Vaporshark. First, we'll start off with Vape. Again, I have this underwicked, and the reason I underwick it is because I like to run this at a lot higher wattage. And if you underwick it, unlike the VCMT, if you underwick the mutation tank, you actually can get a lot more wattage. I've got a double Scottish roll in here. And we're reading just dead right ass on 0.1 dual coil Claptons, and they are only 2mm Claptons. So let's have a vape. Damn, that thing's got some good flavor, and damn, that thing puts out some good power. So first I want to talk about the LiPo battery. I initially was concerned about the LiPo battery, it only being a 900 milliamp hour battery. Not quite understanding what that meant, I assumed it was a 900 milliamp battery, and I thought, well, for fuck's sake, I've had Egos that had 1100 milliamp hour batteries. It actually doesn't work that way. There's actually 3 900 milliamp hour cells, which is equivalent to a single 2700 milliamp hour 18650. I vaped this exclusively today. When it came in, it only had 37% charge, and I'm very familiar with the DNA200 chip, and I'm very familiar with the Vaporshark because I've also got a Vaporshark 40. And so when it come in today, it was sitting at, no, it wasn't 37%, it was at 17% when it first come in. The fact that it has this LiPo battery, I was concerned because you technically could change the LiPo battery in this if you had some sort of mechanism to charge them. It actually would be pretty easy to do. But I was concerned about the charge time. So after about 10 minutes, I noticed I had gone from 17% to something like 48%. I mean, I was blown away at how quick that was. So then I went ahead and let it charge on up to 100%. I think it took just a tad over a tad over 35 minutes. Phenomenal charge time. So I had plenty of stuff to use until it kind of come through. Let's drop a dripper on here and really crank this bad boy up. I polished my I'll show you guys. The dripper that we're going to use is the Gladius. I actually polished the Gladius along with the Lancelot today. They are a matching pair. And I also polished that Vapors Cloud today. And buddy, is that dude sexy. So let's, before we go much further, let's really put the screws to this thing. New juice, labels will be in tomorrow. I love the way I did this bottle. Some of you may not like it, but what it is it's a pop top, so you don't have anything to keep up with. You just basically pop the top, You drip what you're going to drip. You close the top, and you're done. So let's, we're sitting at 113 watts here. Even I don't have the balls to go up to 200. Some of you, I'm sure, do. I mean, this thing's got the power, man. Them LiPo batteries, they really put out. Now, as far as battery life, so at about, I got up at 2 o'clock this morning, and it's 1 o'clock now, so I'm finna go to bed after this video. No, probably not. But anyway, I started vaping this thing today at about 7 o'clock. That's after I had charged it. I vaped it off and on using the, I don't know what it, yeah. I vaped it back and forth with the Flask Mini. And I got until about 7 o'clock on the battery. Now that's with 0.1 ohm resistance coil. With a higher resistance coil, you're not going to drain on the battery so hard, so you're going to get a little better battery life. So I got 13 hours out of it, but I was using 2 devices, so maybe cut that in half. I'm not really quite sure exactly on that. But it's been a good performer all day. I've used tanks on it, I've used drippers on it, I've used different tanks on it, I used the TFE4 on it. I was curious about the TFE4 because I wanted to see if the outside diameter of the TFE4 would have any problems, if there was any overhang. It fit really, really nice. So definitely no complaints about that. Let's have another vape. Man, the thing works great. It's really small. It feels nice in the hand. And the DNA, you know, of course, I'm sure you guys know that the chip is on the bottom of this. Now, some things I don't like about it, and this kind of goes to the we had a bad trade. When I initially got this thing in, you guys, I'm sure you guys know on the DNA, it's got this nano coating that's kind of a rubberized finish. And this stuff fingerprints like nobody's business. If you get like, let me just get a little thing of juice. If you get any juice on this thing, I mean, it's there. You've got to wipe it and wipe it and wipe it and wipe it to get it off. Well, when it first come in, the fella I got this from didn't tell me this, but on the other side, this is why I hadn't flipped it around yet, on the other side, this rubber coating had begun to come off. And I'm actually going to kind of show you what that looks like. Because I'm going to do the same thing. This coating does come off. There is that, now underneath it, there is some really nice sturdy aluminum. So what I ended up doing is what I did to the other side. Is I took, let me make sure it's nice and clean, is I took a razor blade and I cleaned it. And this doesn't fingerprint near as bad. This doesn't, I don't know. I'm sure it could get scratched and dinged up. I mean, I know this protective coating is there for a purpose. And what other idiot's going to get on here and scratch up a Vaporshark? But, so when it came in, there was a huge section right here that the coating was missing on. Actually, you can see it really good on the top. You see how that coating is coming away? That's not juice. Those spots you see, that's where the coating is coming off. I really, 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 really fucking don't like that. Because they charged, I think they charge 34 bucks to reapply this stuff. And that's a bit of a pain in the ass. What I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go for this kind of two-tone look. The black aluminum and the rubberized finish. Because this piece, the part that covers the battery, I think I'm gonna leave it rubberized because I like the way that two-tone look. I kind of like the way that black two-tone look works out. Now, it is I keep wiping this damn thing because I got juice on it. I want to show you guys something. I mean, I actually used a razor blade to clean that off. I didn't scratch it. I didn't scratch it at all. There are no scratches anywhere on that. The camera may not be showing it. So I feel supremely confident that I'll be able to do it on this side. On the LiPo battery, I said you could probably change this battery, and you probably can. Because the LiPo does just kind of come right off. You've got a piece of tape there that holds it together. Maybe not. I don't know. If you was to attach some quick disconnects to these two wires and do the same thing to another LiPo and figure out a way to charge a LiPo, hook up a USB to it, then you absolutely could change this battery. That's something that a tinkerer could do. That is not something that my ass is going to do. But you could do it. Alright, I got it back in. I would say that's probably a project that's not for the faint at heart, but it can be done. Let's take a vape off of it and make sure I didn't break it. Did not break it. So, the Vaporshark, you know, it kind of looks and operates and functions exactly like a Vaporshark does if you had a 30 or a 40. I'll be right back. I'm going to go grab my wife's, and I'm going to let you guys see what one that's been used for a year looks like. Be right back. So, this is my wife's Vaporshark. It is well used. It is well loved. It does not have the black aluminum underneath it. But you can see, and she doesn't abuse her device. I mean, you can see that nano coating over the course of the last year is just starting to look like hammered dog shit. Yeah. I just think they should stop doing that. I don't know, man. It seems to be more hassle than it's worth, and more that, you know, they've got the shark skin they do for the 40. Actually, I was looking on the website trying to buy one for this. They didn't have one for this yet. Some other things that I want to see out of them. They've got the wireless charging base for the DNA40 and a wireless charging chip for the DNA40. I'd like to see that for this. But other than, you know, kind of all the negatives about the finish, it is very sturdily made. It is a miss on this nano coating. I'm just going to scrape it off. Because as you saw my wife's, you know, that I'm not going to walk around with that. And I'm sure most of you aren't going to walk around with that. So if I was to say between this or my Relo, I'm going to take the Relo any day of the week. Because if the cells stack 2700 milliamp hour batteries and 3 cells, what's that translate to? That's 2, 4, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. 14, 20. Yeah, 8100 milliamp hours basically in this kind of configuration. 2700 milliamp hours in this configuration. As far as the width, they're literally the same fucking width. There is some depth differences. I mean, that's absolutely a given. But I'm not going to take this over this. So, you know, for me, the Vaporshark is a miss. It's a good device. It's a good DNA200 device. But I wouldn't take it over the Relo. The miss for me is the coating. So we'll have one more vape, and we'll back up, and I think we're pretty close to the end of the DNA200. I'll put a link down to Phil's description about the eScribe software and about some of that stuff. When I first got it, I plugged it in. It was on the current firmware. It was super simple. I just went to the website, the Evolve website. I downloaded the software. I plugged it up. It asked me what my device was. I hit get information. It showed I was on the latest firmware. And I haven't gotten into the deep tinkery side of the eScribe software. I don't think it's something that I'm going to do either, because I'm pretty well happy with a 0.1 build on something like this. Now, one thing about the DNA200 chip in general is I have been able to successfully run below 0.1 on my Kanthal coils. If you saw in the last videos, my Lancelot here, it keeps dropping to, as you see right here, it keeps dropping to 0.09. On my RX, it won't fire. On here, we're still going like a champ. So, you know, the DNA200 chip, you can run nickel down to a quarter of a tenth of an ohm, or 0.025. On the RX, you can run 0.050, so a half of a tenth. So on the Kanthal builds, you can get a good bit lower. On the DNA200s, the Vaporshark's no different than the Relo. But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to ramble anymore. It is a good device. It's nice and heavy. It's nice and sturdy. You know, the battery magnets and all that stuff are really tight, really well designed. Holds it in real good. If you felt like getting a little fiddly, you could have a second battery that you kept charging, but this thing charges so damn fast, I don't think that it's necessary. And that's what I got. It's James JCOS. One more vape. And again, that's what I got. If you guys want to get in touch with me, Facebook is the best way to do it. I sleep 2 hours today, so generally you can catch me. The new juice, what's it called? Sanity. I think I've got about 20 bottles left. I'm going to have 10 gallons next week. We just finished it up. Anybody who wants to get a bottle today or tomorrow, I'll be shipping them out priority on Monday. And that's what I got. So remember, we vape, we vote, and we'll see you again next time.